Yo, what's good, day traders? This is y'all boy Jay Devar bringing y'all another upload for this week, man. And in this week's upload, man, hey man, we got something to talk about. It's kind of like some State of the Union business, right? I ain't saying you gotta panic right now, just nothing like that, man. But man, when it comes to the prop firm industry, ooh wee boy, we got something to brewing for the year 2026 and possibly 2027, right? But so basically, it's just I'm gonna be going over this article that I've been seeing that's been going around on Reddit and everything of the sort. And it's basically just an article from someone who posted on the industry spread. I've never seen this website. Like I said, I saw this on Reddit, and I saw this is kind of like trending on Reddit and everything of the sort. But basically, this is a article that someone posted about how regulators are closing in on the retail prop trading in 2026, right? Um, so basically, this just has to deal with basically the U.S. and other governments trying to crack down on prop firms, right? Trying to see like if they're basically like committing fraud and everything of the sort, or if they're actually marketing the products that they're marketing, right? So in this case, they're basically highlighting that the CFTC, they lost that case against the My Forex funds. If you guys remember, My Forex funds was that prop firm that they had got us some trouble with the CFTC. They were claiming that they took $30 million or took $300 million, and took that money from clients or the people that were paying the evaluation fees, and they took that money and used it for some purposes other than what they actually marketed it for, right? But however, they ended up losing that case because apparently that that payment that they were soliciting as like suspicious, it actually turned out to be a 31 million dollar transfer uh, as a tax payment to the Canada Revenue Agency, to the Canadian Revenue Agency, right? So basically, that's why the U.S. lost that case, or not the U.S., but the CFTC lost that case. Um, so yeah, but let's get into like what this means actually means for the funding industry. So if you guys can see right here, it says the retail proprietary trading industry firms that charge traders an evaluation fee for the chance to trade a funded quote unquote account and split the profits is converging on a regulatory reckoning in 2026. So even though they lost this case earlier this year, oh no, not this year, but last year, even though they lost this case last year and it was dismissed, the CFTC basically just said, listen, we ain't giving up just yet. Now we just gonna try to come with a stronger case and everything of the sort, right? So now they just gonna. So now I'm assuming they're just gonna take their time of building a better, legitimate case. But as we keep going, so the pivotal event is not a new rule, but a courtroom defeat on May 13, 2025. A U.S. federal judge dismissed the CFTC fraud case against Traders Global's group, or basically My Forex Funds. That was their company name, with prejudice and sanctioned the agency. That outcome reshapes how regulators on three continents now approach a model most of them have never formally authorized. This analysis compares four jurisdictions and sets out what compliance teams should expect next. So, let's see. So this is basically what the regulators are trying to combat right here, right? So the retail prop firm model is simple to describe and hard to classify. They're basically trying to see how do they classify this business model, right? So a trader pays an upfront fee, typically $50 to $1,000, to attempt an evaluation or a challenge, hitting profit targets without breaching the drawdown limits. Passed, and the firm grants a quote unquote funded account, and the trader keeps a share of the profit, often between 80 to 90%. The regulatory question is what the account actually is. So is this an actual funded account for you to actually go trade in live markets, or is this just like inside of your own liquidity pool, right? Or if you're in your own commodity pool of taking fees from people who want to trade, i.e., us prop firm traders. So taking that money, which we all know that like basically these payouts, they're being distributed out through the fees that are being paid. You know what I mean? So from most firms, right? So and that's the issue that basically the CFTC and other governments and parties are having with or organizations are having with this whole dilemma. It's like, okay, is this fraud or is this legit? And if it is quote unquote legit, if you are actually offering this service, well, you need to be regulated. So if anything happens, we can hold you accountable and we can protect our citizens, right? So, um, So in that case of what the account actually is, in most cases, the customer is trading a simulated or demo account against the firm's own risk engine, not in the live markets. So they're like, okay, if you're not actually putting them in live markets, then why are you marketing it as that you're putting them in live markets, right? Which is also a thing too of like what some firms are doing. Especially now with saying to move into live programs, they're doing a bunch of live programs and everything of the sort, supposedly moving you over into live accounts. But so the CFTC and other organizations, they're just like, okay, so if you are actually moving them into live markets and you're actively, like, I know Top Step, they have Top Step TV. So if you're actually actively like trying to educate people on how to trade and in the futures markets, it's like, okay, well, you need to be regulated for that, right? So you need to have a classification. I think the regulation, the classification license that you need to have for basically a commodity trading advisor. That's basically what they're trying to see if they need to classify them as commodity trading advisors. And to do that, you have to get a Series 3 license. For futures, I don't know if stocks is included in that, but also, and then there's the Series 34 for the forex side of it. So if you guys don't know, you can also trade forex on futures, right? So yeah, it's either Series 34 for the forex side of things, or the Series 3 for the futures side of things, right? I'm not sure if stocks is included in that or not, but so yeah, so basically you have that going on, right? So let's see, because if they are operating as that, they have to, because one, it doesn't have to be just a singular person. Like I can get my Series 3, and then I can start a whole business around advising people on how to trade futures and everything of the sort. Especially like if I'm going to be either investing this money for them or just giving them general advice on how they should actually go about investing this money. So it could either be a singular person or it could be a firm. And in this case, with it being a prop firm, they're taking this money and providing education. That's what they're trying to classify it as, right? So, and also too, like I said earlier, if so that structure six, to them, they see it as gambling. It's gambling or forex brokerage. And if you guys don't know, in the U.S. for us, basically they came cracking down on all that forex stuff, right? So all those offshore brokers, like even with say FTMO, when FTMO used to service U.S. traders, I don't think they do anymore per se, but yeah, they basically came in and just uh, cut that out, shut all that down, right? So, and they also can see it. They also see it as an unregistered collective investment or advisory arrangement. So it's like the fact that like if you're providing education, which I know Top Step does, like the Top Step TV thing, right? So it's like if you're providing education or if you're providing some like even like with the live traders that they do have on there, even though they may not represent the firm per se, or they might not be directly hired underneath the firm, is just like, okay, if you're gonna have someone on here giving advice, well then you as the company, you as the prop firm, okay, you might need to register as a CTA or as a commodity trading advisor because you're putting people out here in front of other people, retail traders, and they're giving like advice. So if you as a company are going to be doing that, then you need to register. And so if something happens, you get in trouble for it, and the end citizens are protected. People are protected, right? So, this just talks more about the case between the my forex funds and the CFTC. Yeah, I remember when that came out. It was crazy, man. Like they froze all their assets. It was like $300 million. Um, they were claiming that there was a fraud exceeding $300 million. Asset freeze. Agency alleged the firm misled customers about how their accounts work and profited by ensuring traders failed. Right. So that was the whole thing with fraud. It's like, okay, if you're promising them live market conditions, right, but they're actually not trading live, right? If it's all simulated, like y'all are banking on or claiming it to be, well, then it's not live trading, right? So this is fraud. But that's what they were trying to say with their case, right? But however, the evidence that they did provide during the case, it wasn't enough to say like, boom, this is it. What they were actually looking at, the evidence that they had was a $31 million transfer pointed to asset dissipation. But however, it was just a tax payment to the Canadian Revenue Agency, right? Or that's what it was said to have been. So they kind of I guess they just kind of came with a bad case towards my forex funds. However, they're not stopping there, right? And that's just CFTC. And as you see here, they're Stance off exchange leverage retail forwards requires registration, debate over reclassifying firms as commodity trading advisors, right? Or CTAs. And for that, you have to get your Series 3 and everything of the sort to be able to do stuff like that. And it's not just the US, so it's the United Kingdom, then you have the United Kingdom, you have some places over there in Europe, and then you have Australia who are also trying to do things as far as like even with the forex space, right? With the forex firms and everything like that. It's like if y'all are gonna be doing this, then we have to. Well, we want to basically protect people, right? Because also too, you guys know that there are the things of like some people sometimes being denied payouts, right? And they just have to be at the mercy of the firm. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let's see. So how foreign jurisdictions treat to the so they all treating it differently. Basically what this means for prop firms, brokers, and compliance teams. For prop firms, the operational message is that it's only simulated. Defense is necessary. However, it's no. They're looking at it like, well, if you marketing your product as live trading, but however you're actually not putting them in actual live markets and they're only simulated accounts, well then you're not advertising what it is. You're not actually advertising what you're claiming to advertise, and they consider that fraud, right? So regulators are looking through the demo account label to the economic substance. Who bears the risk? How the marketing represents the odds of success, and whether the profit share arrangements amount to soliciting speculative trading, right? Firms that publish pass rate and payout statistics, segregate any real client funds, and avoid leverage claims that breach local caps would be better placed than those relying on offshore incorporation alone. So let's see. For brokers and liquidity providers, counterparty due diligence now carries regulatory tail risk. Servicing an unregistered prop firm that's later reclassified can pull a regulated broker into the perimeter. So basically, with that being said, it's like if you're going to be taking these fees, okay, well, you're basically collecting a pool of money, and if this money is actually meant to be traded with, well, now essentially they're looking at it as like essentially you're operating as a broker, right? And that was something that I did want to highlight with a Top Step, because recently Top Step, they came out with their own brokerage, right? Which I thought was kind of crazy. So if anything, I think one of the firms that might be safe if regulations do come cracking down, I think Top Step is already ahead of the game because they're offering things like a brokerage. So either you can trade with the prop firm method things, although that might be where they kind of get them as like, okay, if you're going to be advertising as a prop firm and moving and putting people in quote unquote live market conditions, well then you need to register as a CTA, commodity trading advisor, right? Um, or you can trade with their brokers, which them doing this, they actually had to get regulation for this because you can't just open up a brokerage in the US and not have like any sort of like classifications or certifications or anything like that. So this they definitely had to get like some type of certifications for to operate a brokerage, right? So they may be one of the few firms that are actually safe if these regulations do come through, but some firms might have to be closing in the future, man, if they don't get stuff like this like set in place, which that does have an effect on us, you know. Let's see. So right now, the whole debate that they're just all centered around is basically the CTA reclassification debate in the U.S. and the financial promotions perimeter. In the U.K., remain live exposures. Let's see. So what did the My Forex Funds dismissal actually decide? Narrowly decided that the CFTC just mishandled its own case. However, they're still gonna work at building a case um, uh, against other firms and just the whole industry as a whole, and just basically fight to get some type of regulation in place. So that can mean a lot of different things coming down the pipeline, man, and that could that's definitely going to affect us, especially us as like retail traders. Like they're going to come in and change all these rules. Who knows if any of them will be able to be in business because they had to go through these certifications. Who knows? Maybe the CEOs might not want to go through the process of getting all these certifications and everything of the sort, or if they give them a certain time frame when they have to get these certifications so they can actually do the business that they say they're doing. And then also too, they have to go and restructure the whole business, right? So now you have to actually, if you're going to register as a commodity pool or like as a advisor of some sorts, now you're actually going to have to move people over to live. So how does that actually affect, or how does that actually change the current model that they're using? Well, putting us in simulated accounts and taking all these fees, and basically we were getting paid out from these fees. So I guess also too they kind of looking at it as like this is a Ponzi scheme of some sort, right? Because everyone is just collectively pulling into this company or this one entity, and basically the money isn't coming from actual live market conditions, it's coming from simulated conditions, and you're just getting paid out from all the fees that they've been collecting, right? So this is definitely some interesting stuff right here, man. Like I said, I don't know what the future holds for the prop industry, man, but I just know, like, man, we gotta be on guard. And just this right here, this article coming out, and also too, like I said, this has been like blowing up on Reddit and stuff like that, so I decided to make a video on it and kind of give my take on it. But in my honest opinion, I don't see regulation really being a bad thing, because like I said earlier in the video, like we hear cases of sometimes firms not paying out traders, and it's basically at their own discretion, right? But it's like if they become regulated, now it's just like okay, you as a trader, now you're kind of protected, because now you could possibly take like some sort of legal action now, because with them being registered, well, they're gonna care about that now. The firms are gonna care about that now, because it's like, okay, we have this license. If we get sued by a trader, for quote unquote not paying them out, or not fulfilling up our end of the whatever contract we signed with them, now it's just like our license is at risk. So in a way, that kind of does benefit us as retail traders if we're gonna be trading trading with these firms, right? Because now if they get their license taken away, now they can't do business, right? So that's one positive of it. But like I said, probably some cons is like there's gonna be a lot of different changes that's going on in the industry. Some companies probably gonna have to restructure their whole business models. Some of them might just shut down altogether, because like I said, top step, they have a brokers now, so like you can put your own capital in here and trade with their brokerage, um, or you can still do the prop firm thing. Although with this, because they're offering education, they still might need to register as a commodity trading advisor, because if you're offering opinions, even if you're just offering opinions, right? And even with them having like the little disclaimer in here saying like these are just opinions, these opinions don't represent what we're doing or everything of the sort. It's just like now if these reclassifications come through, these regulations come through, now ain't no more disclaimers, right? Now ain't no more this ain't no more this is just solely our opinion, blah blah blah, or we recommend you seek your own investment advice before trading and everything. It's like, nah, put your name on it. That's basically what's gonna happen then. So it's like you're gonna have to stand on business and put your name on it. So like I said, um I don't necessarily see it as a end all be all thing, but like I said, I do see this. If regulations do come through, like this could definitely like just really just disrupt the industry, right? Like I said, we can see prop firms shutting down. We can see some sticking around and just changing their whole business model, and also too that might affect stuff like pricing and everything of the sort. So we just gonna have to see, man. We just gonna have to be on guard and just enjoy it while we can right now. If you can just get whatever payouts you can right now, because once we're gonna hear more, like, because like I said in the article, it said they're slowly, just because they lost the case against my forest fund doesn't mean that they're not trying to come back and just build up a stronger case, right, for any other firms that are out there, right? So yeah, just the whole industry as a whole, right? So we gonna see. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. Do you guys think regulation is a good thing or a bad thing for the industry? So yeah, with that being said, this is y'all boy Jay DeVar, man. I'm gonna check y'all out in the next one, and peace out.